Hey, how's it going, you guys? Spydeco64 back here again, and I have a movie review for all of you guys here today. And on today's video, we are here to talk about Marvel Studios' new film, that being Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, or Black Panther 2, or whatever you want to call it. Of course, it is the sequel to the first Black Panther movie that came out in February of 2018. And yeah, like I said, we're here to talk about Black Panther 2. So I first want to say spoilers, okay? This video will contain spoilers for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So if you've not seen the movie yet, just go and watch it and then come back here when you eventually do it. Of course, it is still the weekend, so you can still go out and still do it, or still, watch it. But not, then that'll be okay. But anyways, there's always next weekend. But anyways, though, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This movie was one that to say the least, before the passing of Chadwick Boesmen, I had a lot of excitement towards Black Panther 2. And it was called Black Panther 2 when it was initially announced. Back in, I want to say, it was announced around it was announced around the fall of 2019. And from that point onwards, what kind of happened was that at that time, we were still living off of the Marvel hype. And pretty much ever since, after basically the pandemic and, and last year when we were getting a lot of the new Marvel content, a lot of people have seen, of course, the big shift from Marvel, and of course, in 2020, we all found out on August 28th, 2018 or 2020, Chadwick Boesmen had passed away due to his battle with cancer. I never uploaded a video on Chadwick's passing. I never did. When that happened, I was on my first trip to Colorado. And like a lot of people, I was pretty devastated. And, after the fact, the question was out there, was roaming, what is going to happen what's going to happen to the sequel, or is this franchise just going to get scrapped, or what's going to happen to it? So when it was announced that Black Panther 2 would still continue on, would still film and whatnot, sort of have you, I can really say I was very skeptical, and I initially didn't like that idea. In my opinion, or if I were Marvel Studios, like if I was Kevin Feige in this situation, the decision I would have done was to probably just not make it until the timing was right, when the timing is correct and all that sort of stuff. But apparently, really, they had a movie to make, hell, probably Disney were probably pushing them, or I think though really they found the middle ground. They really found out what to do with this movie, and now overall, now time to get into really, well, I'm not into the spoiler section yet, but I'll tell you when I am. But basically, now watching the movie and on its own, how do I feel about it? And to answer that question, I felt really good after watching Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. I have to say that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I really deeply enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it for several different reasons. First of all, the reason was because Marvel they did a good job handling they really did a good job on handling the death of, the unfortunate situation of Chadwick of Boseman, and they were just able to create this really fantastic movie, I think, in my opinion. Um, number two, I really feel like that this is like I can't remember the last time when when an MCU movie got serious, because there are hardly any one-liners, quips. Of course, there is some comedy in this movie, but it's very light, to say the least. I mean, I wasn't like there weren't scenes of, I don't know, Shuri just quipping while fighting against Namor's while fighting against Namor or anything like that. No, instead, really, this movie, the tone was serious, and just overall, that's something that I think they nailed. The music, of course, too, is also really great in this one as well. I think Ludwig Göransson. I can't say his name. Ludwig, who also does the music for The Mandalorian. I think he did the score for this one, though I could be mistaken. But it's just this movie just nailed a lot of things for me. Of course, for me, the biggest standout was Letitia Wright, who of course plays Shuri, of course, T'Challa's sister. It's just really, she took a big major step, and now she is the main character of this movie. And throughout the whole entire movie, we follow her story, we follow her and her grieving process, and that's something that we can all relate to. And to kind of make this film personal in a way, one of my closest friends lost, or one of my closest friends, one of her friends was killed. And if any of you want to really kind of want to know more about that story, let me know in the comments, and I'll redirect or talk about it a little bit in the comments. But basically, the whole point is that the way that she was dealing, the way she's still a little bit in the grieving process, but I can really tell from experience too, as to how the grieving process just absolutely is just, it's the hardest part when after losing, a loved one. And certainly not only was Shuri, Queen Ramona, Okoye, Nakia, M'Baku, all these characters were grieving from the passing of T'Challa. We were all grieving from the process of Chadwick Boseman. And hell, I haven't really comprehended his death really fully, still up to this point. It's been 2 years since his death, and next year will be 3 years. And of course, the years go by fast, and it's just, we really it really is just important that we really just make the most of life, and just really, enjoy it, and all that sort of stuff. And so next, I want to now talk about, of course, I will do a little lightning round here. Almost all the actors in this movie were all very good. Everyone in this movie was good. There was no one that was like bad or really okay in some certain ways. Every character in this movie was just great. Queen Ramona also had a big step up, from the first movie. I feel like, of course, Nakia and Okoye both were really good in this movie. Okoye had a really interesting arc also too, and Nakia also, who was absent from Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, makes a big comeback too. And of course, M'Baku is also a treasure as well. Just a chill dude, all that sort of stuff. If I were to be a Wakandan, I would be probably part of the Jabari tribe, and all that sort of stuff. But let's talk about, I think, the two, of course, the big elephant in the room. Of course, let's talk about Namor. So Namor, this is his first appearance in the MCU. He is one of the few characters that I and a lot of fans have been waiting for to pop up in the MCU for a long time now. It was just only a matter of when, he would appear. Like, it's like, when is he going to appear? Will he have his own movie? Are they going to give him a Disney Plus series? But no, instead they incorporated some of his story into, of course, a movie about Black Panther. And I guess now time to answer the big question. What do I think of Namor and his portrayal in the MCU? I overall have to say, this movie really made this movie, not in a way. Now, of course, it did change his backstory a little bit. He's not known as Namor the Submariner and King of Atlantis. No, instead he is, and of course he still does lead an underwater kingdom. Sorry, I forgot the name of it. But one thing that's very important to mention is that Namor's origin, was changed in this one, of course, because, it was changed. I think really, I actually really kind of don't know the reason why it was changed, but the changes that they did made, I honestly really did like, for example, which, I mean, I do think it's really cool that they made that they've based his origin in the MCU around Mayan culture. And of course, for some people who may or may not know, I am half Mexican, half Guatemalan. And, it was weird because, this is like the first MCU movie where Latino representation was done really in a broad way. I don't count America Chavez because, honestly, who fucking cares about America Chavez? Namor is really Marvel's first Latino superhero, and or I guess anti-hero, I guess I should say, because yeah, he was also an anti-hero in the comics as well. But talk about Namor and his betrayal. I overall have to say it was really, really good. Yeah, Namor was definitely a standout as well. And now time to talk about the other character in the room, of course, that being Riri Williams, Ironheart. So this is also her first appearance in the MCU as well. She's been a character in the comics for quite a few years now, I think up to this point. And I didn't really have much anticipation for Riri Williams, Iron Man, or Ironheart, sorry. And once again, it's just I really do think that the MCU adaptation is going to be better than it is in the comics, because the comic version of Riri Williams I really hate. And all that sort of stuff. I'm not gonna get into the specific. I'm not gonna get into detail, but I just didn't like Ironheart in the comics. Though maybe I feel like I'm gonna like her in the MCU a lot. And I'm now more interested in her series now. Now that we've seen her in Black Panther to Wakanda Forever and all that sort of stuff. And I think the show could be interesting, or I don't know, maybe it's just gonna be another one of those. It's a drawn out MCU movie in 6 episodes, so we'll just have to wait and see just how things go. But, kind of talking about other things in the movies that stand out to me as well. Once again, like I said, the acting was really good in this movie. Music was great in this movie as well. The characters were really phenomenal, really great. Like I said, the tone of this movie just really plays into it well. And I guess now it's time to talk about the biggest WTF moments. And now this part of the video is just gonna be me just being all crazy, because some of these parts in the movie really made me it answers, I think, a question that I think maybe some MCU fans maybe have never even questioned themselves. Why do I like the MCU? Well, I like the MCU mainly because characters showing up from other movies, or they're setting something up, or they're setting up a very big plot later down the road. Now, of course, I like the MCU not only just for that, but I also like it because of the characters, of course. Back in phase 1, 2, and 3. But no, this is a question though that this movie answered. And to basically put it to you this way, big WTF moments. When Shuri has the recreates the heart shaped herb, and then goes into the into the astral plane. She freaking Killmonger just shows up. He's like, "What's up?" And all that sort of stuff. Man, I love Michael B. Jordan. I'm ecstatic to see his first directed movie, Creed 3, with Jonathan Majors, of course, Kang the Conqueror as well. Man, I really loved him in the first movie, and it was just really cool to see him. Michael B. Jordan is a great actor, by the way. If I've not said that too. Okay, the post-credit scene as well. The post-credit scene showed a very emotional scene of Shuri. Finally, there's a point in the movie where her and Queen Ramona burn the funeral gowns that they had on during T'Challa's funeral, and all that sort of stuff. She finally burns it, and we see this montage of Chadwick Boesmen, and it's like it was. I'm not gonna cry in this video, but yeah, I mean, it's like in the video or in the theater, I was wearing actually this hat, and I had to take it off just cause out of respect. And so, the montage was really great, and then Nakia then shows up. He's like, "Hey, you want to meet your nephew?" Yes. So apparently, T'Challa and Nakia had a child, and I don't remember. I don't know if they said when they had the child, but basically, so from what it seems like, he probably either had the kid during, or possibly in 2018, most likely, before the events of Avengers Infinity War. And basically what this means, basically overall, is that T'Challa now has a son, and his name is T'Challa. It's T'Challa Jr., basically, and it's like, holy shit, bro. That was a really big W7. I'm like, what? And it's like, I'm really glad that, I will also kind of admit this. I was kind of hoping for a little Doctor Doom sort of cameo. They were supposed to do that, but they then cut it out, which I think it's actually maybe the right decision. Believe it or not, I'm going to say that. And the reason why I say that is just because this movie, unlike any of the other MCU projects, and I am including Spider-Man No Way Home, and that is all other MCU movie projects have really relied on cameos and actors returning back to certain roles, and all that sort of stuff. But here, in this movie, there were no kind of big cameos. No other characters showed up and all that sort of stuff. No. Now, if they are going to show up in the movie, at least put them in the post-credit scene. That's why I'm kind of disappointed they didn't show Doctor Doom. And it's and speaking of which, yes, Doctor Doom is going to show up in the MCU at some point. I don't know when, though. Could be in the Secret Wars, or I don't know. Could appear somewhere. I really have no idea. But the whole main point is I'm trying to get across here is that these were the big two. This was the big WTF moment for me, and it really made me think this is the reason why I love this franchise so much. Or why, for me, I've been kind of out of Marvel for quite a while now. I am going to admit that. Some of the projects this year have really disappointed me. I thought Moon Knight could have been a lot better. Doctor Strange, I thought it could have been a lot more better. Thor Love and Thunder really killed me. It sent me into this wild... Nah, actually not really not. I forgot about Thor Love and Thunder, and I was... and the whole summer I was just spending working out with one of my best friends. And Miss Marvel really did nothing for me. She-Hulk, just horrible for me. And the two MCU projects, and god damn it, I keep forgetting, I need to talk about it. Werewolf by Night, I need to talk about that. Maybe that'll be a special video by the end of the year. Yeah, that probably will maybe be something that will happen. But like I said, just Wakanda Forever and Werewolf by Night are my favorite things to come out of Marvel this year. Now, of course, a lot of people are probably going to be asking me, what's my favorite movie of the year so far? Or the movies I've seen. Because I'm going to be honest, I really don't watch any other movies besides these blockbuster movies. And movies I have to watch for my film class. To answer that, I have to say Top Gun Maverick is still my favorite. It's just because it came out at a really just amazing time for me. I graduated high school. I went to Six Flags. It was my high school hurrah. And then the next day, me and my dad then went to watch Top Gun. And it's like, yeah, I love the movies, man, So, to end this review, this is probably maybe the longest Marvel review probably out on my channel. But to end it off here, I humbly, and if you are still watching this and you don't care about spoilers, well, to basically end this off, I'm going to give Black Panther Wakanda Forever an 8.9 out of 10. I'm not going to rate it a 9 out of 10 because you know what? Screw it. Yeah, it's a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm not going to rate it a 10 out of 10 because nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Hell, like, you can't expect... I mean, there's hardly movies that have the most perfect script, the perfect pacing, and the perfect characters. We don't want perfect characters, of course, but what I'm trying to say is that nothing is perfect. This movie is just... It's really good. It is really, really good. And what a way to end technically Phase 4 of the MCU, which, wow, worst phase of the MCU. But anyways, though, guys, thank you all for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, I know I wasn't expecting this to be a very long video, but I knew it was going to be pretty long anyway. But anyways, though, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you did, in fact, liked it, of course, you all know what to do. Leave a like. And I don't know if I'm going to have the comments turned on or off or not. I'm going to have to see. But with that being said, though, guys, thank you all for watching this video. And remember, Wakanda forever.